All right, we should be all good to go. We should be all live. I'm actually, for those of you that are on Patreon, I am making some updates to the projections just because yesterday I think I was too aggressive on, let's see, what is this, 10, this would be 11:36 Eastern. Because I may have been too aggressive on people not getting through the field, and I would like to correct that. So I gave more, a little bit more positions to Larson, to Chastain, even to AJ as well. I made some other changes, but that is mainly the focus point of those changes. So that is now reflected on Patreon. Let me get all this shared, and then we can go ahead and start answering questions. I do my best to try and not go head to head with Pinnell on his live shows. That's just how it's going to end up being today. And Chris, I do apologize for that, because I clearly, I don't talk to Chris or anything, but I try and do my best to not have conflicting live shows with anybody, just due to the fact that I think that is kind of rude to do. And I am not trying to do that on purpose today, but that is just how it ended up going. So yeah, this is a very chalk type of slate and lineup construction, and it's a road course. Like I said, I'm not a fan of these, but that's just how it is. When we're looking at construction and stuff, when we look at optimals real quick, and the reason I want to start with this is the one thing that we've seen this year is that clear optimal plays are most likely going to be optimal. Like whenever you look at the optimal lines and you see who had the place differential baked in, and then you see the optimal line, you're like, yeah, of course that guy would have been optimal. He was starting there, of course. And I think that is very similar today with Chastain and Larson. I think the plays that are more interesting are Byron, Allmendinger, and Bowman, because these guys can be moved out by a lap leader. So, like, for example, like Suarez, for an example. Suarez is starting, what is he, 10th today, 11th today, $9,400. I think he's going to carry ownership. Suarez has tremendous green flag speed. We've been saying that all year at the road courses. Let me just tweet this out real quick. We've been saying that all year, and there is a real chance that Suarez will be there competing for the win, competing for a top 5, and getting fast laps, just due to the fact that how fast this car, Trackhouse, Suarez have been at the road courses this year. I think, and I understand that Bowman is a bit cheaper, but I think the major conflicts of people being bumped in or bumped out, getting in a place differential, or getting moved out based on laps led, are more so for guys around the 9K range. Like Reddick is 10,000. Okay, we've seen that he has speed. Let me just tweet it. Live right now talking. I always try and type and talk at the same time, but I just can't. Besides, this will allow people to stagger in and everything. Okay, cool. Oh, I don't have the link. Anyway, so Reddick's $10,000. His direct competition today is Chastain and Larson. Okay, as I said, I may have been too aggressive yesterday. 53 of you guys here, thank you very much. I haven't even tweeted this out yet. I may have been too aggressive on my projections yesterday of people not moving through the field, because I had Larson originally for like 12th place. I think I had Chastain for 10th. I think I had AJ, for 13th or to 10th, somewhere around there. Where, looking at it, I think they could move up. I think they can get in the top 10. And the reason is, I think they bump Reddick out of the optimal line, because I don't see Reddick leading. I'm sure he's going to lead today, because clearly he's starting first. Clearly he's going to be there. But I don't see Reddick running away with this race, leading green flag to green flag, especially due to the fact that we're going to have people trying to get stage points. We're going to have people trying to get different in terms of off sequence, in terms of laps led, and where's my StreamYard at? and everything on there. I would actually much rather, and I don't know if I'm going to do this because, look, in chalk slates, you play the chalk, you cash. You fade the chalk goes through, you don't make money. Or you fade some chalk, but you don't fade the right chalk. I mean, this is difficult. And so we can either get around this by doing single entry or just doing a shitload of lines. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. However, if I was going to chase somebody in the top 10, I think that should be Cindric or Chase Briscoe, more so than Tyler Reddick. Not only because they're cheaper, but Cindric is going to have speed here. We saw that he had tremendous speed last year in the random mechanical issue. Even outside of everybody acting stupid, he was one of the fastest cars. We understand what speed Chase Briscoe has. If you're attacking it that way, you then have to go and see who is Cindric and who are Briscoe competing directly against, and that puts them directly against AJ Allmendinger, even Truex, William Byron, Alex Bowman, kind of the same thing here. And so I don't think I'm going to be aggressive on chasing a lap leader, just due to the fact that I think Larson is going to be probably an 8th place running car all day. We're going to need a yellow for him to get. Also, I expect a yellow at some point, and somebody's going to get some leader, and it's most likely whoever's trapped, like running 2nd or 4th, gets punted into the grass entering the first corner at some point today. And so I'm kind of expecting that to be some front runner that's been up there all day getting screwed late in the race. But I think starting your line with Ross and Larson, I understand that a lot of people are going to do that. I understand that that's not really taking a major stance or anything like that. But I think they both have a very high likelihood of competing for the win today. I would change it around, or not change it around, but when we're looking at place differential, don't look at it as, oh, well, this guy has, 8 place differential points baked in, 10 place differential points. The cutoff for these guys need to be, can you envision them finishing top 10? So like with Martin Truex Jr., I think Truex ends up finishing maybe around 17th, 16th. I don't see him having that car to get into the top 10. I don't see that car competing for top 5. So I'm not going to touch Truex. Whereas I think we can see Byron very much compete for a top 10 today. We can see Bowman very much compete for a top 10 today. That is probably my prerequisite in terms of chasing a place differential play. Or at least trying to get 5 guys in there that you can very easily see finishing in the top 10. Let me get through these questions real quick. BVP, thank you yet again, my main man. I do appreciate the support. I'm not desensitized to this. I really do appreciate you doing this nearly every live stream, and yet again, I think you doing this is a way better advertisement than I could ever do. The fact that you have donated $50, I would argue, for the last month and a half on nearly every stream. Thank you so much, BVP, and best of luck today in your contest. I do appreciate the support. I like Bowman more in that, Matthew. That's probably where I would go over Harvick, just between those two drivers, because I'm probably going to have Bowman in my line as well. I am probably going to do the 44. I'll probably do the 20, not clearly the 15 and stuff, but I want to try and stick to smaller contests today, just due to the fact that we have so much chalk. I don't think. Excuse me. I wrote this down earlier, but let me bring up my document that I made notes in. In terms of stage points, let's get this through. All right, so here, where are we at? This is just real quick. I look, so at this point, Bowman understands that. Let me just make sure. Right. So at this point, we have Blaney. Did cricket move? What the hell? What is this? Real playoff rank. What is going on here? NASCAR. Who doesn't have a win? Who am I missing? Okay, so I was trying to. Okay, sorry. So Bowman's situation here is much safer than other people. However, because Bowman has the buffer of Blaney and Truex at the moment. This is just as they're running right now in the playoff format. I don't think he's going to chase playoff points here due to the fact that, yes, he has one, but he's currently 11th in regular season points. He's currently seated as the 15th in playoff, like in the grid. But typically, or looking at in terms of where he is in terms of a safety net, he has more points than Cindric. He's most likely going to have more points than Briscoe at the end of the regular season. He also has the situation where Christopher Bell does not have any stage points at all, or not any stage point. Christopher Bell does not have a stage win, and while Alex Bowman has one, when we're looking at guys that I think are going to try and stay out today to get stage points or stage wins, and despite the fact that they might be throwing away the win, I see Bell being one of those guys. Despite the fact he's going to have a top 5 car, despite the fact that he's going to be running in the top 10 all day, I'm concerned that he stays out to get his playoff win or to get his stage win. Other guys that I envision staying out would be Cindric, Joey Logano. We've identified that the Penske gang are typically guys that stay out and get the stage points. So Blaney as well. These are just guys that I would be concerned about staying out during these stages. We can also see that people who normally stay out, and if you look if you're part of the, where are we at? If you're part of the Patreon, Pearce went ahead and added, where is this at? I put it in the Discord too, but you can see where's his comment at? HK, we were way over here. So if you go to HK1, you'll see the note that Pearce left there, and I think that's, in my view, a good indication of typically who stays out during the stages and during the runs. Because while it is based on just running position during runs, the guys that typically have the higher ranking, you're going to see it be people like Jones, Dylan, even Balicki, Cody Ware, and you go back and watch the races, these are guys who are staying out in these stages because they're gaining a ton of position under green flag because everybody's going in to pit lane. And so if you look at HK1, if you look at HJ, not saying that's an end-all be-all, but it gives you a good idea of the people who typically are staying out, at least I would argue, the back half of the field. When it gets up to the front, you can see that while Cindric is normally running top 15 laps. Sorry, I'm looking at 4 different things here. When you're watching the race, you see that Cindric is staying out. You're seeing that Logano is staying out. You're seeing that even Blaney is staying out, but they're not gaining the huge positions under green flag. That's why their ranking is a bit lower on that scale. Anyway, I just want to point that out and kind of bring up the main guys I would be concerned about pitting before the end of these stages. I think we can. I didn't even bring up your comment when you left that. I do apologize. I'm very happy with how I've been approaching stuff. We haven't had a takedown since Martinsville, or at least a huge day since Martinsville. But I've been very happy with how things have been going on. We've just had some poor luck with some lone guys getting wrecked out. I'm still tilted about Darlington and what was the other one that had a low? Oh, and Dover. I'm still incredibly frustrated with those 2 races. Let's see here. Yeah, and so the holding position thing, like I said, I think I was very aggressive earlier or yesterday. Maybe reacted more to Road America and just the fact that people didn't even move at all, like in that entire race. I think this race is going to have more passing than that, especially because, I mean, look, Chastain is competing for the win today. He's not a place differential play. Chastain is a man who's going to compete for the win. I think Larson falls in that category as well. And so when I look back at the qualifying for the other races and the guys who didn't really move up, we didn't have like a ton of race contending drivers starting midfield. Whereas today, I think that is a situation that we have. And so Uh, like I said, I view Chastain as a lap leader, as a fast lap giver. If he doesn't have those, I'll be disappointed in my approach on this race because I think he's going to be up there. Um, I also think just due to the fact that we are so close to we are so close to the end of the regular season, we're going to have somebody do something stupid in these stages that I just won't be able to project for. Like we might have, Keselowski stay out, Bush stay out, and I don't know, man. I'm expecting something stupid to happen here. Like Almirola seems like a guy who can very easily pit before the end of the stage or stay out and like cause issue wherever he goes. Anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents there. I didn't even answer your question. So okay, I am not going to play Ricky Stenhouse Jr. today. I think he is one of the guys that I would be hesitant to be on due to the fact that this is purely an ownership play. But I am very much concerned with the speed that these guys have at road courses and the short tracks. I am very, very worried about Stenhouse Jr. Not, I think he's going to hit value today, but his value might be at like 33. Actually, limit here. I'm bringing it over here. I don't know why I'm guessing this stuff. So Stenhouse. Mm, 14. So right around 32 points. He has a 5.3 return. I have Stenhouse for 38 points today because I have him finishing around 22nd. There's a chance that that number doesn't get into the optimal line due to the fact that we might need to be chasing Chastain, Larson, like AJ, Chastain, Larson, Byron, fantastic plays. I think it's very likely that 3 of those guys make the optimal line. It then goes to what Elliott does, Suarez does. Like I don't know if Stenhouse makes the optimal line today, and I think 38 is a very ceiling type of projection for him. But that's just what I put him in to keep him in, certainly keep him in the optimizer because I wanted to see what he would do there. Um, but in terms of like value ranges and where we want to go, let me bring this up real quick. I think the one thing that does help us is that we have so many slow cars. Like at least we have a bigger field this week. But like part of me is interested in going maintain a running position up there. I think I'm gonna end up leaning Joey Hand today. Just due to the fact that he is cheaper than Stenhouse. He is gonna show speed. And if we get a very similar race that we did at like Road America, as I said, or even Sonoma, to where look, people weren't able to pass that well. But if Joey Hand is able to move up from 29th, from 27th, and finish around 21st, 20th, I think that's a play I'd want to be on to be different, and due to the fact that it'll get me on a different lineup construction. Because if we're around chalk so much, and I agree with the Chastain Larson plays. As I said, I like AJ, I like Byron. I don't want to fade them because I think that is going to lead to me losing money more times than not. So I would rather try and get different in the value range and in terms of the amount of salary that I'm using for really my last guy in. And so I think I'm going to end up probably uh, trying to get to Joey Hand today and just hope that Chastain runs doing, or not Chastain, just hope that Stenhouse runs to an issue or that he really is slow. Because I'm very much concerned that Stenhouse just kind of runs 29th all day, even under green, to where he's just not able to get up through the field. They've said it time and time again that they are not, the team is they're not comfortable on these flat tracks. That's where they struggle. They struggle on the short tracks. They're struggling on the road courses this year, and that is reflected in Stenhouse's uh, finishes this year. Clearly ran into issues at COTA, 25th this year, 19th at Road America. So there is that, but I'm very worried that we get a Sonoma type of day from Stenhouse, and maybe I see him being as like one of the more riskier chalk plays today, and so that's my opinion on Stenhouse and them. And you're good. Feel free to ask questions. We need as many questions in here to keep this going on. I like the Larson, Allmendinger, Bowman. I would probably try and get off of Dylan. I don't think Dylan moves up a ton, and I don't trust Ty Dillon to really do much. But I do like the first four guys in that line. Hey, you already asked about Joey Hand before I even get, or I talked about Joey Hand before you asked, although you asked that before I started talking about it. And I unironically answered this question as well, just kind of going on a rant. Like Stenhouse for me is I am, as I said, I told you my projection for him. We got, and I'm not like annoyed with you. I'm just saying, like, I got to project for like 38 points today. Okay, but in terms of where that is in ranking, that would, let me rank these guys by positions, not positions, by my ranking order. I think that's going to put him maybe around 15th. Let's look real quick. Yeah, so that puts Chastain as that puts Stenhouse as my 16th highest projected guy. If he scores anything less than that, he very quickly falls out of the top 20 for me, because I have so many people projected right around where Stenhouse is. And if Stenhouse ends up getting around 34 points a day or something, he is outside the top 20 in terms of projected DraftKings points for me. And so that's another reason when I looked at that yesterday, that chalk for me seems to be very risky due to the fact that they have struggled so much, and that this race does have a chance to not have that much passing at that portion of the field. So that's my view on Stenhouse. I think I'm going to try and be off the field on him today. Right. Yeah, dude. I hate these weeks, man. I really do. I think between Gibbs and Stenhouse, where do I got Gibbs at? I have for me, they're nearly identical plays in terms of possible DraftKings points, and so that would lean towards Stenhouse being a better play over Ty Gibbs due to the fact that Stenhouse is far cheaper, because I have them separated by 2 DraftKings points today. And I keep losing my StreamYard link. It is over here. Good luck to you as well, Matthew. I like RFK in a race where you just can't pass at all. I think that's the type of race that leans into Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. Like, I would probably have Chris Buescher finish around 10th or 9th, somewhere around there. And I think Keselowski stays out today, And so if you're looking for a race to where, and certainly a race to where Larson doesn't work his way in the top 10, or it takes a very, very long time, we don't have as much place differential come through, and we're looking at guys really maintain a running position, around 3 or 4 positions in either direction, up or down from where they're starting. I think that leans into RFK more than other teams. I'm going to chase more of the Byron, AJ, and Larson place differential plays, but I think RFK is very much in play if this race goes green and you can't pass. So this is where I'm at. Let me bring up my thing here. Let me find Bowman. When we look at Alex Bowman, and I'm even going to, let me go back real quick. I'm going to answer this because this might be a very lengthy question or a lengthy answer, but please give me time to bring context into why I'm looking at Bowman and not Harvick. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to do this in real time to see. So as I'm bringing up the sheets for previous road course races this year, in my head, Bowman has not shown practice speed very similar to today and is able to show it in the race. That's where my head is. That's where my brain is. That's my hypothesis. But let's go ahead and check the practice times from the other races this year. Is it this one? Yes. So we have, I need Coda. I need to open up Coda. I need to open up Sonoma. What the hell? Where's Sonoma at? No. Oh, Pearce, where'd you put the Sonoma one? What road course am I looking at? Road America, and I may have pulled that from that folder. Hold on. Well, I have Coda open at least. Let's look at where Alex Bowman started and stuff. So, as I said, I do apologize. I knew it's going to be a very lengthy answer. Bowman at Coda, third fastest rank, fourth best 2-lap average. He would end up finishing Coda in second this year. At Road America, I'm going to have to bring up the PDF here, and I do apologize that I'm taking forever, but I do want to answer this question with all my ability. Let's see. Car, Sonoma practice times. When we look at Sonoma, Bowman was 23rd best in Sonoma practice, and this was a race. Where are we at? This is a race that nobody could pass in, and he had the 16th best car. I don't remember where he qualified at. Let me see. Sonoma qualifying. Let's see. Bowman would end up qualifying. He ended up qualifying 19th. So he had bad time and I would argue bad time. Mid time in practice, qualifies 19th, finishes 16th, an improvement in the race, or at least improvement in terms of where he's starting. The other track that we are looking for is Road America. All right, so when we look at the practice time at Road America, and this is a race that Bowman would end up finishing 12th in. Bowman was 15th fastest in Road America practice. And so for me, when I see how Bowman is performing in practice, I'm not concerned that when we look at his ranking, he was around 26 fastest. I actually do like the fact that he ended up messing up the corner in his qualifying session and caused him to start a little bit further back. Because when I view Alex Bowman, I see a guy who is very much a fringe top 15 candidate, a guy who is right on the cusp of being a top 10 contender, especially when we look back at some of his races last year. I understand it's a different car, but when we look at how Bowman was running, you got to remember that he was also spun out late in the race at Road America when he was running top 5 times. We've seen that really across his history in road course races, and specifically road course races that are tight flat tracks. we're seeing that he is going to have top 15 speeds. And so I know this is a very winded answer, and it probably took way longer than I initially thought that I would get there. But that's why I am much higher on Bowman than Harvick. I'm not doing Haley. That's just where I'm at. I'll probably end up going to Joy Hand today. This is a good question. So between AJ and Byron, I have AJ being a slightly better play due to winning upside and laps led upside. If I take that away, I would have them both projected in mid to high 40s. But I have AJ projected for slightly more because I think he can get fast laps and laps led at a certain time. I have not seen, and getting to Eric Jones is quite difficult depending on who you're chasing up for, because $7,100 is just a bit awkward to get to for certain people. I like Eric Jones. If I land on him, I land on him. If I don't, I don't. I would much rather, like, if you're chasing the chalk in the back and guys that are going to carry out the ownership, it's going to be Eric Jones and Stenhouse. I would much rather play Eric Jones than Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So if you land on him as your last guy in, I'm fine with that. If you start your lineup with Eric Jones, I'm fine with that. He's not a priority to me just because, like I said, I'm trying to get in as many top 10 finishers in my line as possible. I don't see Jones doing that, but I see him as being a very solid play and probably scoring around, mid 30s and stuff, and that's going to be perfectly fine for me. I think we can see a situation where he might end up scoring closer to 40 points, but even mid 30s is going to be perfectly fine from Jones. Let's see. I have Blaney is my 11th highest projected driver today. I have him at 45.1 points. I don't think that's incredibly low on Blaney. But I think Blaney is going to throw the race away chasing stage points. I have Blaney projected to finish 5th today with 6 laps led and 8 fast laps is the base projection. That's 45.1 points for Blaney. I don't think that's too low on Blaney, but I think he is a prime candidate to do. Penske is the main issue. Is that I think they're a prime candidate to do something stupid and win the stage. And honestly, but Bell and Blaney, I don't know if I would do this. I probably wouldn't. But if you're looking to bet stage 1 winners, I think it's one of those two guys to win stage 1, because I don't think they pit. I think they stay out. I think both those guys stay out at some point in some stage today. That's where I'm there. What's up, Clutch? Happy to have you here. I got no issue with them cheating. My issue is the people who are asking DraftKings to change their thing, like, oh my god, he DQ'd. Like, do you guys just want them to not pay out for fucking 4 days? Like, you're just getting a FanDuel situation where you wait a day and a half for your payouts. I would just have it. Let's score them at the line like they do, and then pay it out instantly. Like, come on. So that's my thought there. My thought really isn't on Hamlin. I thought it was very funny that his daughter was there and that basically they took it away. Like, one, she's crying because the crowd is booing her dad. And then after all that, the win is taken away. That's pretty funny. Secondly, everybody complained about Kyle Busch, all this this is why, dude, NASCAR reporters do nothing. And then they're like piranhas. They smell water in the blood and they just all go for it. And so I've never seen so much coverage on one guy recently, and that's Kyle Busch. Look, the gist is, I don't know why nobody's reporting on this. This is what it is. What's more important to Kyle Busch? Winning races or money? That's what it is. If Kyle Busch stays with Joe Gibbs, he's taking a pay cut. If he is forced into 2311, he's taking a pay cut. He wants to win races. If he goes to Stewart-Haas, he's going for money. Okay, I would love Kyle Busch to go race Xfinity full time and just win the entire season, win every single race. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. So Kyle, please go Xfinity Series racing and just win every single race and call it a day. I don't think you missed my thoughts. I haven't talked about Eric Jones until just recently, but I really, really do like Byron. I think he's very easy to fit in lines. I like him a lot. As I said, Ty Gibbs is very much. I'll just tell you what I have projected for him. I got Ty at 36 today. I don't think it's this race. I would much rather go Soares over Kyle. That's just me. Like, I think I'm not going to get to Kyle today because I think he gets outscored by some of the guys in starting farther back. That's just where I'm at. Okay, and I hope I hope that was a good explanation on all that. I know it was very winded, but I don't like to just answer this and then not give you context. I would at least rather explain why I think something, and then you could still think I'm an idiot or like you can disagree at that point, but then you can at least understand why I view a certain guy as a certain way. That's my example. So I appreciate you at least giving me a platform to explain my reasoning on my Alex Bowman there. M&G, thank you very much for the $10 donation. Oh, yes, your super draft. Let me go ahead. I forgot who I had on. I don't remember who I have on the PDF. I looked at it yesterday. What's the contest? 93 people. Unbelievable. Let's see. What are they even doing? Yeah, you got to play 8 like that. I think I put Chastain as my favorite play on that to just fucking be different because like everybody is going to play. They're not different, but it has as a guy that I would get to because you play AJ, you play you play Cindric. You then probably play. You can go Stenhouse. I would prefer Byron. Dude, it's so bad. The plays on Patreon or not Patreon, only plays on Super Draft today that are viable: Chastain, Truex, Byron, Dylan, Bowman, Stenhouse, Cindric, and AJ. Very, very unfortunate, man. They're just getting ready for the NFL season. That's all they're doing. And that's basically it for Super Draft. But yes, I would consider them. I would consider them locks. Can you easily fit the top 3 salaries in a lineup? I have not tried, but let's go ahead and goof around and see where we would go. So I'm assuming that you want Elliott, but I think this answer would actually let me X out of this. So I need to see. So you would probably want Elliott, Chastain, Larson. Yeah, you could very easily do that. I don't know if it's going to be optimal. You'll very much end on Stenhouse, probably Joey Hand. Might be able to get up to Eric Jones, depending on who you use. You could certainly do it. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think that build ends up being optimal and stuff, but I think you can very easily do that. I'm glad you brought that up, man. I was very annoyed Friday when the new. I started my show like 10 minutes later. It's like, all right, Chase Purdy's going to the back. We got Jesse Little starting dead last, and I was unaware of that for the whole stream. And as soon as I got off the stream, I was like, "Oh my god, these people are asking me Jesse Little questions. They're asking me about Chase Purdy, and I'm answering them assuming they're starting at their original positions." So that was very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and do that. While I do this, shout out to Ferrari for just pissing away a race. I have no idea what Ferrari is doing. Not only do they give the race away, but it was also a race where Verstappen was buried in the field, and they just gave it to him. Let's see. Cody Ware and Eric Almirola to the rear. That is it, and that does not affect us at all. So that is that. I probably will not play Chase Elliott today. in my line. And typically whenever I don't play people, I can usually get more. Why do I have so many tabs open? Good Lord. See, what do I got Elliott for? I have Elliott for second today, 10 laps led, 3 fast laps. I don't think that happens. That's my projection and stuff. But I don't see Elliott winning this race, and I see that. We're gonna need people. We're gonna have a lot of people having issues for Elliott to end up being there, and so that was my projection for him at 51.85 points. I don't think he gets there, so I'm not gonna be playing Elliott today. All right, I'm slowly getting caught up through the comments here. Guys below 6K, do you like? Let's see. Below 6K, I think Joey's the only guy. So when we look at his, depending on how stupid this, like if this race would get into a wreck fest, it would bring more people into play, but I don't see it. So based on green flag speed and based on this race kind of paying out the way it should, if you're down there, you probably need to get to where are we at? It would probably be Joey Hand and Harrison Burton and Gillen. Those are your 3 guys in the 6K range that I think are usable. So, with Harrison Burton, Gillen, do you see this as a race where they can maintain the running position, or do you see it as a race to where Joey Hand can possibly outscore both those guys? So that would be my answer. I'm probably gonna only do one from this range, and it's probably gonna be Joey Hand today. Yeah, Loris. He is come on, man. He started Daytona 500. Or actually, he did not start Daytona 500. He gave that to Jacques Villeneuve. And Loris, this is the Rain Brothers team that they conned this poor man into because they wanted to go NASCAR racing. And look, Loris is a NASCAR Euro guy. He is I believe he's a champion of the NASCAR European Series, primarily a road course series. I think they have like 2 or 3 ovals. So he knows what he's doing. The issue is that the car is slow. Okay. Same thing with the 26 car. These guys are good racers. But these teams have just fallen so far behind the rest of the field that $4,700 for Loris is just not going to be possible because we've seen how he performs. He was the slowest car at Road America. He finished 32nd at COTA. This is just where we're at. These guys don't have speed. That's just where we're at. It's like, Williams is in the 78 this week, but we've seen Scott Heckert in that. We've seen other people in that, and like the car is just slow. That's just how it is, and so they're not viable today. Happy to see you back, Michael. It has been a while. Yeah, I mean, look, if that's what they want to do, like if these, that like. I wish I honest to Christ wish somebody in the Cup Series who's like good but doesn't like have a real chance of ever like winning a championship. Like, let's go ahead and just have some fun. Like Reddick at this point, man, he's not even that talented compared to Kyle Busch. Like Larson, I kind of wish Larson would just go down to Xfinity and kill the field. I'd love Kyle Busch just head down there and kill the field. Like I want somebody to just go and absolutely fuck over NASCAR because they're already trying to get Cup driver. Like if I ever had a NASCAR team and I had any bit of talent, I would declare points for the Truck Series and then race in Xfinity every single time and then try and murder the field. I would just go for trophies. And so I wish Kyle Busch would just do that. The limit only applies to Cup guys. So if Kyle Busch is not declared for Cup Series points, I wish he would just declare points for Truck and then race in all 3 series. That would be awesome. I would love nothing but people throwing a fit over Kyle Busch winning every truck race and winning every Xfinity Series race. I would love that. I'm gonna say no. If I have any feeling they're gonna stay up for stage points, I cannot play them. That is where I'm at there. I want to focus on, as I've said, Chastain, Bowman, AJ, Byron. But when we're looking at guys that inside the top 10 that I think you can viably play, I think it's Briscoe. I think it's Reddick, Soares, and Kyle Busch. But I'm probably not getting to probably any of those guys today. Just trying to get in a different build, especially with the smaller contests I'm in today. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I would love that. I would love. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't know. I think Kyle Busch is at Joe Gibbs next year. He's frustrated, and then also like, look how he's talking to Joe Gibbs. Look at the body language he has. Dude, Kyle Busch has always been an asshole. What are you talking about, man? Like, this is nothing new. I don't know. That's just where I'm at. Let me rank these boys, these big boys here. We got Bell, Briscoe, Cindric. I'd rank him Cindric. Cindric is actually my highest projected driver today out of any guy. The only thing that hurts that is if he pits before the end of the stage. But I'd rank that Cindric, Briscoe, and then Blaney. I'd probably do those guys. Byron and Dinger, identical plays. I actually already answered that. Very much identical plays. I have AJ for laps led and fast laps upside. If you don't think it's that, if you don't think he has that, then I'd probably go Byron. I've been lost on McDowell this entire year. I cannot understand what the fuck this team is doing. I'm baffled. It's the one thing I'm constantly frustrated in. Like last week at Pocono. They're fucking slow. It's unbelievable. And then he finishes where he finishes. Like, this man is it's crazy. He finished 8th. He had no business finishing 8th this whole year. Like, I'm baffled. I cannot project McDowell. I have no clue what this team is doing. I have no idea how they keep getting these finishes. Like, when we look at where the running position is and how vastly improved that is late in the race, like, it's incredibly frustrating. And then at the road courses, they're able to maintain a fantastic running position. I cannot. I have been wrong on McDowell this entire year. He finished like the Coca-Cola 600. I know it turned to a wreck fest. He did not have the car, and then everybody dies, and he finishes 8th, and he continues to have top 10 after top 10 after top 10 this year. You don't ask me about McDowell. I have no clue. I'm not gonna lie. I have been so lost on McDowell this entire year. Reddick, if you guys are choosing to chase Reddick, Cindric, Briscoe, that is on you. As I said, I think people are gonna be. He's $10,000 though. He might have low ownership. I would rather go Cindric and Briscoe over Reddick. That's just where I'm at. Thank you very much, Paul. I do appreciate that help. Or at least telling people there. 107 people here. Two things real quick. Thank you for being here, watching this on a Sunday. 2, having over 100 people watching. 3, while Chris has a live show going on as well. I do appreciate that. As I said in the beginning, I really try my hardest to not go head-to-head with anybody during a live show. That's just how it went this weekend. But thank you very much for being here, especially while there is another live show going on. I'm not going to get to either of these guys in a GPP. Yeah, I would say it's Joe Gibbs. I would say it's Joe Gibbs. Yeah, man, Ryan Blaney has when we look at his races this year, man, 6 at Sonoma, 6 at Coda, second. All right, actually that was last year. Or 6 at Sonoma this year, 6 at Coda, 11th at Road America. I don't know. He just the main issue comes from like when we look at here. Where are you at, Blaney? Like Sonoma scored 46 points. When we had he scored 35 points at Coda. He had I don't remember what the fuck the Quick Trip 250. He scored 41 points at Road America. You know, we're just not seeing him lead like he led the 4 laps there due to the fact that he was off sequence with the field. That's the main issue with Blaney is that they piss these races away on strategy, and so that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, dude, McDowell, I don't know. I've been so lost, man. Every week I get so tilted when I just see how he finishes. I'm like, I am missing on this guy horribly every week. I don't do it. If you're looking for a pivot off of AJ, the pivot that I would go to would be because I don't think people are going to be as aggressive with me in this range. I think the direct pivot off of AJ is Harvick. I know people are already considering playing Harvick and probably AJ together, but it would probably be Harvick or Bowman. I don't think it's necessarily Haley as a direct pivot just because Haley is so much cheaper. I think that's a totally different discussion to whereas Haley is a pivot off of Stenhouse. Haley is a pivot off of Ty Dillon to try and get different there. He's not a direct pivot off of AJ there. I'm still debating if I do. If I do, I think it's going to be Briscoe. But I have not decided that yet. It makes me incredibly frustrated. Like Kansas, when Joe Gibbs, for whatever reason, on a green-white checkered, where tire fall off, it does not matter. They pit all 4 drivers. Like, hey, there's another McDowell good finish. Like, what are we doing, man? I've lost it. I've absolutely lost it. Buescher, very quickly, I think Buescher excels in a race that is difficult to pass, and I think he keeps his running position. I think. Let me see. Let me answer this in terms of plays. When we look at Chris Buescher, he's $7,500. I think Jones outscores him more times than not. I think Bowman outscores him more times than not, and then it'd probably be Chase. It'd probably be Buescher in the 7K range in terms of the hierarchy of DraftKings points and stuff. I can't. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna land there. I think if you're in this, I mean, that's above $6,000. That's a really, really weird place to be at. I got Wallace projected for 34 points today. That's my opinion on Bubba Wallace. See, we've been live for nearly an hour. I do appreciate you guys being here. I'm trying to think of everything that I've talked about or summing up everything. I'm probably, whether this is giving away more in my line or not, this is just how I want to approach it. I'm playing Chastain, I'm playing Kyle Larson, I'm playing William Byron. I know those 3 guys for sure. I'm going to probably try and get AJ into that line as well. And we'll see where that goes from some of these guys. And yeah, I think that's where we're at. Or I go Chastain, Byron, more of the 8K guys, and don't play Larson and try and get a better 7K guy, right, and a 6K guy in there. I think that's my approach. I probably won't be optimal because I'll be missing a a lap leader, but I'm happy with that, and especially in terms of contests that are only like the 44 is less than 800 people. I think the 20 is less than 300 people. I don't feel like I need to chase that lap leader nearly as much as I would in the 15, which I'm also playing that as well. But I don't think I'm going to end up being aggressive on a lap leader there for that. I'm probably doing place differential, Michael. That's probably what I'm going to do today. And hope that it's Chastain that wins the race, and that those guys get there. Best finishing Chevy. Either, I'll give you the 4 that I think it's going to be. Chastain, Elliott, Larson, AJ. I think those would be contenders for the best finishing. If you don't think it's those guys based on them getting trapped in the field, then I would go Suarez or Reddick. I know I threw out 7 Chevys there, like 6 Chevys there, but that's where I'm at. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Let you guys check out other content or just enjoy the afternoon with your families. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys next week. Best of luck. Thank you for the support. Very quickly, right fast. M&G, thank you very much for the support. BVP, and shout out to Michael Curtis, who is a regular donator on the streams as well. He had a at least he said, I didn't ask him, not for the monetary gains, but he said he had his most profitable day ever in DFS yesterday based on the Xfinity Series race. So congratulations to you, Michael, and I'm happy to hear that. I will see you guys later. Consider joining the Patreon, supporting the channel tomorrow on the 1st in the link description below. I'll see you guys later.